at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of scattered showers throughout the day with light winds. An afternoon high near 66. Tonight, showers are possible, otherwise cloudy skies, a low near 52. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day, otherwise mainly cloudy with a high near 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Staying healthy and comfortable starts with the air you breathe. If you're noticing more dust, odors, or allergies, it could be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Pure Air starts with cleaner air ducts. Pair with enhanced filtration and purifications options, and the difference is amazing. When the air you breathe is clean and fresh, your home smells fresher and your family is healthier. Time for cleaner air in your home? Call Bryant for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Early break.
One hand behind the back, over the shoulder. Oh, yeah.
They're peacocking out there.
Eyes closed like that. High stepping, high knees.
What's that guy doing?
High knees. I saw a guy doing a karaoke down the sidewalk. Guys, it's like, it's incredible.
Using it as a microphone.
Yeah. You can do anything. Flip it over, sing into it. Then there's me. I'm like,
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. it starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. as Lincoln Lighthouse's Executive Director Bill Mitchner educates listeners on the history of Lighthouse, their mission, and how you can get involved in shaping today's youth into tomorrow's adults. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to the 2025 NSAA State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. State baseball broadcasts are powered by Game Day Men's Health, Max Tan, Dome University, Raising Canes, and the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Austin Orman.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Nick Sainert alongside Austin Orman here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Thanks to Harrison and Strickey there in the middle parts in between games as we are now ready to go for Class B action. The Class B state championship game coming up here in just a few minutes between the Bennington Badgers and the Gretna East Griffins. Once again, Nick Sainert, Austin Orman with you. Appreciate Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios pushing all the buttons for us here on the last day of the state baseball tournament. 2 more games to go. Obviously, Class B here in just a few minutes. Class A will start for about 7 p.m. is what we're shooting for the first pitch between Lincoln East and Miller North. But that's later. This one's going to be good, and these two teams have been through a lot in the last couple of days. When you look at the Bennington Badgers, a lot of their adversity was earlier in the week. They featured a 4-hour and 14-minute game. They were a part of it, and they were able to come away victorious in that game against the Seward Blue Jays in a game that went 12 innings. But that's not all, because then you looked at what they had to do after once they got to the semifinals. They had to knock off Gross Catholic not once but 2 times in the same exact day, and the Bennington Badgers did that. Now on the other side, Austin, it's a team in Gretna East who is going to lean heavily on their starter, Austin Copeland, who had a phenomenal day against Waverly earlier in the week. 69 pitches for Austin Copeland, the lefty on the mound. 69 pitches, 7 complete innings of shutout baseball against the Waverly Vikings. No runs allowed, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts in a win against the Vikings. We mentioned that these two teams have been through a lot these last couple of days. For the Gretna East Griffins, they had to not only beat a team twice, they had to beat the number 1 team in Class B 2 times. And they did so by knocking off Scott Catholic, not once by the score of 3-2, but twice by the score of 3-2.
And most importantly, but we mentioned Bennington played in a 12-inning game. How about Gretna East saying, we see you guys, but we can do one better. 15 innings is what it took in the final semifinal game against Scott Catholic. 15 innings. They win 3-2 on a walk-off base hit. And these two teams, they're a little beaten, they're a little battered, but here we are, the final game of the Class B season, and it's going to be a good one.
We sure expect it to be, Nick, and you wouldn't want it any other way. Baseball is a game of, the physical attributes. Who's bigger, faster, stronger, who's in tune with their swings at this time of the year. But we love baseball for the mental side of it. It has been a grind for these teams. They haven't had the opportunity to coast through their respective sides of the bracket. Both these teams have had to work for everything they've earned, and so far what they've earned is a chance to play for a state title. You think about Bennington, right, up-and-coming program, been here at the state tournament quite a bit. On the other side, Gretna East, a relatively new school. Hasn't been around for that long, but Nick, maybe in Gretna East's favor is the fact that they were here last year. They lost to a really talented Norris team. I don't think we've mentioned the fact that Norris isn't here at the state tournament.
Yeah.
Not just not in the state championship game, but didn't feature in the state tournament at all. Gretna East motivated by their 12-7 loss in the final last year. Bunch of youth last year, they made it through. But to see Bennington survive that 12-inning game, have to win its way out of the loser's bracket after that game against Gross and win them twice. For Gretna East, to see Waverly, a hot team that came in playing pretty well, and then to knock off Omaha Skutt twice by the same score on the same day. Two just incredibly resilient teams on the field in front of us here today, and I hope that we see, a lot of positive moments from both of them. Not to say the Class C game was a letdown. You saw Malcolm really flex its muscle, but I think if you look at what both these teams have gone through to get here, kind of feels like a battle of attrition. Who can make one or two more key plays? That's how both these teams have made it to this point so far.
Well, and I think you look at that Class C matchup where we saw Malcolm knock off Central City Centura 10-0, run ruled him in 5 innings earlier today. And you look back at what the scoreboard said it was in the regular season. Central City Centura actually knocked off Malcolm 8-4 earlier in the year. When you look at these two teams, guess what? They've played once this season. Bennington won by a score of 2-1. It was a 1-run differential. That's how I kind of feel that this game is going to go. Now, we don't know if it's going to be low scoring or high scoring. Obviously, really good, fundamentally strong baseball teams. It's initially going to say it's going to be a low scoring affair. However, on the other hand, we have talked about how much these guys have been through in the last 7 days as we have the first pitch just thrown
out by, did you see? Mojo Hagee.
That's right, Mojo
Dirt
Hagee.
in the wound for the Scott Sky.
But as I was saying, is that when you have gone through so much, pitching is depleted. Guys are tired. Natural fatigue is going to set in after 7 days of a pretty strong and heavy baseball schedule. How does that affect guys, not only from the physical aspect, but the mental aspect?
We'll talk about the Bennington starter first here, Nick. Number 14, Brant Schmidt. He's a sophomore, getting a start in the state tournament game, a 5-2 record this year, an ERA of 1.23. Huge moment, biggest moment of his career so far for the sophomore. Opposing him on the bump for Gretna East, it'll be their ace, their go-to guy, Austin Copeland. He's a senior. 3-2 record doesn't jump off the page, but again, an ERA of 1.97, and you brought him up before, a guy that shoved in his last outing here in this state tournament. Good planning, or it worked out really well, coincidentally, for Gretna East, that he threw just those 69 pitches in the complete game. 2 more pitches, he would not have been available today. Today would have been the 3rd day of rest that the NSAA dictates he would have needed had he reached 71 pitches, but 69 or 70, he's good to come back today. Works out perfectly for the Griffins to have their guy on the bump for them here today.
And you mentioned it, coming back, going to have to respond. How about this statistic for you? For Bennington, their coach, Scott Hees, is coaching his final game in his career today. He decided it earlier in the year. Hey, this is going to be my last season coaching. Here we can see, can the Badgers cap it off with a state championship? But then also you look at Gretna and head coach Daryl Everhart. A fun fact about Coach Everhart, he spent 25 years as a captain in the Navy. Woo. So here we go. We're going to see if he can really pass down some of those mental fortitude pieces that he picked up while during his time of service. kind of instill that on his guys. And that's how Gretna East is going to have to win this game. They won their games this week against Scott, against Waverly, gritty fashion. That's kind of the feeling that I get with Gretna East. How about this? They have 9 losses on the year coming into the state tournament. 8 of them were by 1 run. 8 of them were by 1 run. The record is a little misleading, I think, for this Gretna East team, just because one side has 9 losses and the other one has a much more favorable and sexier record at 25-3 doesn't mean they're not evenly matched.
We saw that a little bit in Class A, right? Just because the records might have been depressed for a couple of those teams. They're battle-tested against some of these tough schedules that a lot of these teams are playing. And you and I know this from seeing a lot of Class B action across sports in our lives. Class B just always feels wide open. Yeah. It feels like there's always 7, 8, maybe even 9 teams that if the bracket breaks their way, if they get in, they feel like they can be dangerous. Certainly Bennington comes in, one of the higher-rated seeds in this field. Even Gretna East, though, coming from the kind of the middle of the bracket, that 4-5 game to start things off, you know they feel good. You know they feel confident about who they are. And, Nick, I can't stress enough how much it feels like their championship experience last year can be motivating for them in a game like this. Not to, try to play hero because you weren't just 1 run off last year. You were 5 runs off against a really talented Norris squad. But to take the focus from last year, everything that drove you through this regular season, knowing that all you wanted was another shot at a state title.
It's going to be a really good one here between the Bennington Badgers and Gretna East. Bennington will be in the field first, so we're going to see the sophomore, the righty, as Austin talked about just a few minutes ago, Brant Schmidt. He will start us off as Gretna East in their black and gold pinstripes that they've been in all week long for every single game that at least we've seen them. They've been in these black and gold pinstripes with the gold letters and numbers on the front and back. Bennington in their blue pinstripes, the same uniforms we've seen them play in every single game that we've had here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's a beautiful color matchup, and it's a great day for baseball here ahead of the Class B state championship game. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman, Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Glad you could join us on your Friday afternoon as Brant Schmidt works from the windup to face off against Nolan Green. And the first pitch of the ball game in the Class B state title game is a ball outside 1-0.
A lot of respect being given by the left fielder to the left-handed batter, Nolan Green. He's playing pretty deep to the opposite field and towards the line.
First pitch was at 3:43 p.m. It's 65 degrees up here at Warner, partly cloudy skies, and we have a quick 3-0 count to Nolan Green, the Gretna East leadoff hitter. The wind blowing lightly, less than 10 miles an hour as it's a 4-pitch leadoff walk here to the Gretna East leadoff hitter, Nolan Green. Wind blowing, as I mentioned, though, less than 10 miles an hour to the left center wall here at Warner Park. So now after the 4-pitch leadoff walk, that's going to bring up number 5, Tyler Cox. Cox getting the start at second base today. Tyler, 239 hitter on the year and 71 at-bats. Has driven in 14 runs. Nolan Green leads off first. This one, first pitch swung on, skied high as the second baseman will range over. A nice play there by Jack Essink, the second baseman for the Bennington Badgers, as he is able to catch the fly out. Brant Schmidt retires, the second hitter in the Gretna East lineup, on just 1 pitch.
Brant Schmidt just looks so casual out there. I was going to make a comment after his first batter. Is he locked in? Does it feel like it? But I think that's just how Brant Schmidt is. Calm, cool, collected. As a sophomore, you have to be if you're going to be getting the start in a state tournament game.
1 out, and now it's one of the better hitters on the Gretna East squad. It's Carson Herman. Herman on the year, a 352 hitter. Hits from the right side, waggles the bat, and he swings and flies this one into shallow left field. Coming on is the left fielder for the Bennington Badgers, Morgan Schumann, and he makes the catch. And so after a leadoff walk on 4 pitches, Brant Schmidt has now rebounded, and he's retired the next 2 Gretna East Griffins on just 2 pitches.
Got him off balance, leaning forward. Neither batter squared it up. Herman especially is way out on that front foot.
Tanner Erdkamp, the center fielder for the Griffins, now steps in from the right-handed batter's box, facing the right-handed pitcher, Brant Schmidt. Schmidt comes set, checking the runner at first in Nolan Green. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. So Nolan Green, he occupies first base. He'll be playing his college baseball at Cloud County Community College in the future. He's at first base. Tanner Urkamp goes. The runner goes. It was a slow transfer from the glove to the hand, but it does not matter as Bennington throws out the runner, Nolan Green, at second. Aiden Smith, he's kind of delayed on transferring the baseball from his glove to his right hand to throw it down to second. No problem, though, for Aiden Smith as he is able to punch out Nolan Green as he tried to steal second base. So that'll do it for the top half of the first inning. Bennington puts up a 0, and now the Badgers will come to hit here in the home half of the first inning. No score here in the Class B title game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainert, Austin Norman back with you from Warner Park here in the Class B title game. Gretna East is held scoreless in the top of the first inning, and so now we will see Austin Copeland on the mound, who had just an incredible performance and outing earlier this week on Tuesday, where he threw 69 pitches and 7 complete innings of work. He only allowed 4 hits, had 4 strikeouts, no free passes in a win against the Waverly Vikings, but he is back out there here in Friday's state championship game, Austin Norman.
When you say a complete game on 69 pitches, that tells me that that's a guy who was throwing competitive strikes where he wanted it, where Waverly knew it's in the strike zone. They felt obligated to swing, but it wasn't in locations they could do much with it. If you're Bennington, you have to assume he's going to attack the strike zone early, as every pitcher wants to do. But also, if he starts getting himself in trouble, let him. Don't chase.
So for Bennington, it's going to be number 9, due up, Morgan Schumann, the leadoff hitter, hitting .347 from the left-hand side, facing the right-handed pitcher in Austin Copeland. And the first pitch from Copeland is low and away for a ball, 1-0. It'll be Schumann, Spencer, and then the catcher, Aiden Smith. As the 1-0 pitch is on its way, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. It's even at 1 ball, 1 strike from Austin Copeland. Bennington trying to win their first title since 2019 in their coach's last game. Here's the pitch from Copeland. This one swung on, hit into fairly routine right center field. The right fielder ranges over, and he makes the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
Good start there for Copeland. You mentioned the wind is blowing kind of from right to left, maybe out to left center a little bit. We've seen a lot of lefties in this Bennington lineup at times. If you're the left fielder and the center fielder, you got to understand the wind. We saw right fielders have a lot of issues with it over the last few days. Now center and left, understand the natural spin of the ball off the bat from lefties.
So now that brings up the 2-hole hitter, Hunter Spencer. He's getting the start at shortstop here today for the Bennington Badgers. He takes ball 1 low and away, 1-0. Spencer coming into the tournament, a .385 hitter and 91 at-bats here in 2025 spring season. The 1-0 pitch upstairs, almost trying to get to that ball was Hunter Spencer, the batter from the right side, but Copeland's got a lively fastball. We saw it there as he kind of let that one get away a little bit, but here on the 2-0 pitch to Hunter Spencer, it swung on and missed, pitching from behind, and it was a breaking ball. And Austin, we saw earlier in the game, as it's now 2 balls, 1 strike, we saw earlier where with Malcolm and Central City Centura, if you can't command at least one of your pitches, you're going to have some tough times. But we've also seen this week, now as it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on a swing and a miss, where how beneficial it can be if you can command 2 pitches.
And then if you can work in a third, all the better. But if you have good command of at least those first 2, fastball and breaking pitch, you're often in a good spot.
2-2 fastball outside corner, swinging strike 3. And so Copeland, after he started from behind on Hunter Spencer, he comes back after a 2-1 deficit, and he's able to get back-to-back swing and misses from the Bennington shortstop for strike 3 and out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. Now, stepping into the right-handed batter's box, it's Aiden Smith. As Smith takes ball 1 just outside, it's 1-0.
Can we just take a second and recognize just how far out of his shoes Hunter Spencer was swinging? He wanted it all.
1 ball, no strike, and the 1-0 offering from Copeland is low and away, ball 2. I think what I thought you were going to say was let's take a moment and recognize how many people are here.
We should also do that. A fantastic crowd.
Incredible crowd for a Friday afternoon as the 2-0 offering from Copeland catches the outside part of the zone. It's 2-1. And we're expecting that the Class A title game will feature even more. Good crowd this morning. Great crowd here in the afternoon. And Friday night shaping up to be an exciting night of some baseball and softball on the Diamonds. Here's this one on 2 balls, 1 strike. It was a breaking ball. They got Aiden Smith out on his front foot. He swings and misses, and it's now 2 balls, 2 strikes from the righty, Austin Copeland.
Failure of approach by Aiden Smith. You see a breaking ball, 2-1, you probably want to let that one go, wait for a fastball.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. It's outside, and we have worked it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Gretna East fans occupy the first base side of Warner Park, while Bennington down the third base line behind their team's dugout. The 3-2 in the bottom of the first. Fouled back to the net. We'll do it again. It was a breaking ball from Copeland that, once again, Aiden Smith off balance, but was able to get a part of that bat on it, and he fouled it back to the net. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the home half of the first inning. Gretna East went scoreless in their half. Here's this 3-2. Inside corner, called strike 3. Austin Copeland picks up where he left off on Tuesday, and he retires the Badgers in order to start the bottom of the first inning. We go to the top of the second. We're scoreless here in the Class B state championship game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Discovering your life's passion is easier with options, and that's what Doane offers students. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes you different. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Glad you could join us wherever you may be on a Friday afternoon. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman with you. Feel free, you can always chime in on the text line, 402-464-5685. Let us know where you're listening from on a Friday afternoon. Maybe some of you on the way early to check out Nebraska-Oregon later tonight. On your way home from work on a Friday afternoon, feel free to let us know. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. It's the top of the second inning, still scoreless in this one, as the first pitch of the second inning from Brant Schmidt to Tanner Erdkamp goes behind Erdkamp to the backstop for a ball, 1-0. You'll remember Erdkamp in that top half of the first inning was already up to bat, but then Nolan Green got caught stealing at second base to end the inning, and so Erdkamp gets a fresh count, and he's ahead, 2 balls, no strikes.
If you're Brant Schmidt, make sure you're focused on your mechanics right now. You let one sail behind Erdkamp's back, another one inside. Don't overcompensate and yank it too far out.
2-0 pitch is up and in. It's 3-0. And now, once again, don't forget, they started Bennington, that is, the top of the first inning, the ball game, with a 4-pitch leadoff walk. But here, Brant Schmidt says, Nick, don't even mention that because I'll throw a 3-0 strike in there. It's now 3 balls, 1 strike.
Does it feel like the priority is throwing the fastball inside, or do you think it's just coincidental? That's where it's ended up.
I think it's coincidental, and there could also be some run to it, right? We know another pitch variable that these guys can have is a 2-seam action. Is 3 balls, 2 strikes now the count to Tanner Erdkamp, the Gretna East center fielder. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed, and that is maybe the sequence that we're going to see from Brant Schmidt today, is to where it's pound inside, pound inside, and then when you're trying to put somebody away, go maybe with the fastball, the hard stuff on the outer part of the zone like he did right there.
Speed their hands up, get them thinking they have to be a little bit early to get that barrel to the ball and then break it outside on them.
It's a swinging strikeout. And now on this first pitch of the at-bat to Kason Brown, he roped it down the third base line. It's just foul. And it's going to be a no balls, 1 strike count coming up to Kason Brown. Shout out to Cubsker listening in.
Hi, Cubsker.
Kansas, in the state of Kansas. Appreciate Cubsker always tuning in and texting in. No balls, 1 strike, the pitch. Swung on, hit third base, fielded cleanly. A long throw across the diamond in time for out number 2. And so Brant Schmidt, after a swinging strikeout, is able to get Kason Brown, the Gretna East third baseman, to ground out to his counterpart over there at third base on a 5-3 ground out.
Let's think this through here, Nick. Kason Brown jumps on the first pitch, a fastball on the inside. That's what Erdkamp saw. He was ready for it. That swing wasn't a pretty one. Schmidt went with the breaking ball. You could see that Brown had to just drag his bat barrel through the zone. His arms were already extended. He was early on it.
Here is the 6th hole hitter in the Gretna East lineup, the starting left fielder, number 13, Chase Neneman. Neneman takes a called strike, now quickly back to work. Here's a 0-1 pitch, grounded to the shortstop, fielded cleanly, up with it, firing across it, and in time. How about a 3-up, 3-down inning for our boy Brant Schmidt, as he is able to get 2 groundouts and a strikeout to retire the Griffins in order. They go 1, 2, and 3. We'll step aside, bottom of the second, when we come back. Still scoreless here in the Class B title game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks to Big Bird for tuning in here this afternoon. Connor at Kawasaki is listening, he says, on his way to Shields. And then how about Thunder Not Collins always chiming in, and
he's always got something
reaching out. Here, first hitter of the bottom of the second inning, a base hit for the Bennington Badgers, getting on a leadoff single. It's Swoboda, the first baseman, or rather, Molnaric, the designated hitter today. He gets the Bennington Badgers in the hit column with a leadoff single.
Game's first hit, in fact.
So there you have it. As now stepping into the box, it'll be number 23, Charlie Swoboda, the junior first baseman, hitting just a touch under 300 on the campaign. He hits from the right side. Third baseman, Kason Brown, playing about 3 steps inside the cut here at Warner Park. No balls, 1 strike now after a called strike 1 on Charlie Swoboda. Kellen Molnaric was the guy who got the leadoff single here in the bottom of the second for the Bennington Badgers as Swoboda grounds this one. Shortstop fields it cleanly, up with it to second for one, on the way to first in time for a 6-4-3 double play, and a great job by Austin Copeland, the Griffins pitcher on the mound, able to force a ground ball, a GB to the shortstop. Fielding it cleanly was Nolan Green. He fired it over to Tyler Cox at second for one, and then on to Nicholson in time for out number 2. And now with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, stepping into the box, it is Lane Bover, the third baseman for the Bennington Badgers, here with nobody on base. This one swung on, ripped down the third base line, but foul. And it'll be no balls, 1 strike here in this fast-moving ball game. A contrary approach and feeling to what we had earlier this morning at 10 a.m. Or rather noon, excuse me.
All baseball games are lovely in their own way. Had some offense in the first one, good defense, and some really good pitching here to start this second game of the day.
Soft chopper, back to the pitcher. Copeland is able to underhand it, and that is it for a quick bottom of the second inning. Let's go right back to break here as we go to the top of the third. Due up for Gretna East in the top half. Hitters 7, 8, and 9. It's Cool, Modrell, and Nicholson all due up for Gretna East when we come back here in the Class B state championship game, still scoreless on 93.7 The Ticket.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Brant Schmidt delivers his first pitch of the top of the third inning. He hits Colton Cool, so there's a leadoff base runner for the second time for Gretna East. Austin Norman, Nick Sainert with you here. Jackson Kleinschmidt back at the mothership, 1040 O Street in Lincoln. So leadoff base runner aboard. It's Colton Cool. Brant Schmidt just threw his 20th pitch of the game. Nolan Green reached on a 4-pitch walk to open the game for the Griffins. He was then thrown out stealing later in the inning. Here's Kobe Modrell, designated hitter, wearing number 16, righty-righty matchup. Third baseman Bover, a couple steps in on the grass, expecting bunt. Modrell doesn't show it. He takes a breaker outside, 1-0.
Maybe this is what Gretna East needs, and the story would be the same for Bennington, right? Get somebody on base thanks to a mistake by the opponent here. Get them on, move them over, maybe hit them in here for Gretna East.
Feels like we're at a spot in this Class B state title game where any run could be a big one, as now Cool rips off second base. He got a really good jump, again, trying the timing, slammed on the brakes, then took off again, made it. Would have been close, except Smith's throw from behind the dish was high.
Yeah, Smith hasn't looked comfortable getting out of his stance and trying to fire down to second. I'm sure that's something that Coach Everhart over there at third base has kind of picked up on for Gretna East.
2-0 in the dirt, now 3-0. So Kobe Modrell seen 3 pitches, all of them missed the strike zone. He's got a runner on second against sophomore righty Brant Schmidt of Bennington. Blue jerseys, white pinstripes for Bennington. Black jerseys, yellow pinstripes for Gretna East as Modrell takes a fastball for a strike over the outer half, 3-1.
Maybe this is the bunting history in me, but I notice right now 3 balls, 1 strike, third baseman playing 2 steps behind the bag. This is where you drop down a late showing drag bunt here, Austin.
Modrell thinks otherwise. He fouls one off, 3-2.
It's a situation.
Especially at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, especially bottom of the order. You were able to swipe a free bag. Now you got a guy, instead of moving him over to second, you can move him over to third if you do your job. Man, this This is the type of stuff that matters if he can't get on base here.
Modrell's batting average this year is .250. Just 1 for 4, according to the stats that we see in front of us. Not a lot of high averages on this Gretna East team. They've done it with pitching and defense pretty much all year. Only scored double-digit runs. It's like 3 times. Modrell goes down on strikes. A good job of battling back by Brant Schmidt. He retires Modrell for the first out of the top of the 3rd inning. Good job getting back in the zone and being competitive with strikes there, Nick.
Yeah, there's two ways you can look at it if you're Gretna East. Obviously, you want to look glass half full. You're able to get to second base nonetheless on a stolen base. But, man, you can also look at it glass half empty and saying we could have swiped 180 feet worth of real estate there and just instead of just 90 feet if we get a bunt down.
Here's a 9-hole hitter, Colton Nicholson. Chops that one to shortstop. Spencer stumbled as he comes in to get it. He'll lob it across to Swoboda at first. Runner does move up as Spencer had some trouble getting out of his break, but he got there eventually. 6-3 on the putout, and that brings up Nolan Green.
Yeah, and if we talk about the evolution of baseball there's your first run of the game. You're scoring a run on that ground ball. Is hit enough towards the middle behind the pitcher's mound that they're not going to be able to have a play at the plate, and Bennington might even surrender that run for the second out of the inning. If the runner's at third base instead of second and cool, guess what? You're scoring, and Gretna East is up 1-0 right now. It's just those little things, especially in a game, could be decided by just 1 or 2 runs. Those are things that you look back on and say that's a pretty important part.
Nolan Green steps out of that left-handed batter's box. He'll call time as Schmidt and Smith were trying to decide what pitch they wanted to throw. Now Schmidt is ready. Breaking ball in for the first pitch as a strike.
Now, granted, if you have a guy step up like Nolan Green here and get on base with a 2-out rip, then you know what? No harm, no foul.
Green has the highest average on this team at .357. Driven in 17 runs, also tops on the team. That one fouled out of play, now 0-2.
Now, on the other hand of that, just to continue building on this, Austin, I mean, if you're Brant Schmidt, you're 1 pitch away here. You're ahead of the hitter, 0-2. You have a really good backstop and Aiden Smith behind the dish. Throw something in the dirt. Don't let Nolan Green get good a barrel on this one.
Here's Schmidt's 0-2. Swung on and missed. Nolan Green goes down on strikes, and sophomore Brant Schmidt strands the runner at third. No score through 2.5 innings. Bennington coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd next on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're at the bottom of the 3rd in the Class B State Championship game here at Warner Park. Austin Norman and Nick Stainer in the booth. Bennington and Gretna East on the field. Austin Copeland has been dealing for the Griffins. He is only on pitch number 20 right now through 2 innings. Schumann, Spencer, and Smith went down 1-2-3 in the first. Molnarek singled ahead of a double play, and then a tapper back to the pitcher in the second. Due up for Bennington right now, second baseman Jack Essink. He'll be followed by right fielder Jace Fitzgerald and center fielder Mason Beekler. Copeland, the lanky righty, brings it home. Essink lines that one into center field. It's going to hang up, and sliding over to make the catch is Tanner Erdkamp. 1 pitch, 1 away for Copeland in the bottom of the 3rd.
Just a continuation of his performance on Tuesday against Waverly. I mean, he is quick, he's efficient, and he's got really good command of a couple of his pitches so far through 2 1/3 innings. An ideal start for both sides, really. Brant Schmidt's doing an incredible job for Bennington on the other side, too. But Austin Copeland right now, since he's on the bump, doing a really nice job for Gretna East.
Essink got a pretty good swing on it, just not the biggest guy, not able to drive it for damage. First pitch swinging is Fitzgerald. That one's flared out to the left side, drifting over to make the catches. The left fielder, Chase Neneman. 2 pitches and 2 outs here for Gretna East in the bottom of the third.
Austin, let me tell you, where's this ball going? Right down the middle. You got the 9-hole hitter, Beekler, up on the year. Beekler, no home runs, only 5 RBIs. He's only gotten 16 hits on the season. You know what you're doing? You're throwing this baby right down the middle, hoping that he swings. If the third base coach over there for Bennington's smart, he's telling him to hold.
Beekler does, and Copeland misses the zone, 1-0. It goes to what we saw from Copeland against Waverly. In the zone, but not hittable in the zone. Competitive strikes, pitches that hitters need to swing at, or else they risk taking a strike, but not ones they can do much with. Copeland misses again, 2-0, brings it home. Now Beekler swings. That one's fouled off to the right side.
Well, I mean, we talked about it, right, with Copeland specifically. At the end of the first inning, when he got Aiden Smith out on strikes on that backwards K, he threw 4 consecutive breaking balls, featured a full count breaking ball. I mean, that stuff is, you got to have some significant confidence in your stuff to be able to do that and do it effectively.
That was a fastball taken for a strike. Copeland's 1 strike away from being out of the inning. Breaking ball, tails a little too far outside, full count. Good at bat here by Beekler. His teammates saw just 2 pitches for the first 2 outs. Here's pitch number 6 of his at bat. Laced up the middle, reached out and snagged by Copeland. He gives a yell as he runs off the field. Beekler, all he can do is shake his head and walk back to the third base dugout. No score through 3 innings here at Warner Park. 4th inning ahead on 93.7 The Ticket.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No score in the top of the 4th. Gretna East has 2-3-4 due up against sophomore righty Grant Schmidt. Schmidt's been good. Faced 1 batter over the minimum here through 3 innings. It's Tyler Cox leading off the 4th for Gretna East. Cox, a senior infielder, brings a .240 batting average into the state tournament. 17 out of 71. First pitch swinging. Had the lunge for that one. Swoboda gives it a look. Doesn't get there. 0-1.
We talk about limiting traffic on the base paths, Austin. I mean, Bennington hasn't had a runner that's gotten past first base today through 3 innings. Gretna East had a runner their first time, finally got somebody past second base last inning, stranded him at third. Both pitchers doing a really nice job just limiting traffic on the base paths. It's just a great job managing the game from the mound.
It's been a high-level baseball game. Only 1 hit would tell you it's been good defense, but really good pitchability, I think, from both these guys. Not just going up there throwing, but having a plan. Cox ropes that one into left field. There's the first hit of the game for the Griffins. He'll be aboard leading off the 4th inning.
Yeah, and you feel like that's a bonus, right? Like Brandt's given up a couple free passes. He walked Nolan Green to start the day, but then he got cool on last inning via a hit by pitch. If you're Gretna East, string a couple of these things together. We'll see what happens here. Let's look at defensive positioning here. Third baseman for Bennington, still just even with the bag. I mean, they're going to force Gretna East, but Carson Herman, one of the best hitters for the Griffins.
We'll see if Tyler Cox is in motion. Aiden Smith hasn't had a perfect day behind the plate in the running game. Schmidt checks him as Herman takes low, ball 1. Smith has a good arm. Almost too good last time. It was a nice play by Spencer to keep the ball on the infield. The 1-0 from Schmidt. Just kidding. He picks over to first base. Cox back in plenty of time. Nick, as a catcher, and you having issues getting the ball out of your glove, what's the adjustment? Just got to go back to basics? What
Just
are
get
the
a feel.
basics?
I think it's just a feel thing.
Another pick over to first. Cox dives in safely.
I don't know. I think a lot of times, I mean, there's a couple of different mechanics that you can do. I think a lot of times guys at this level think they have a lot stronger of an arm than they actually do. I don't think that's harsh. I think that's just being realistic with yourself. And so, that one's in there for a strike. I think it's now 1-1 to Carson Herman. I think that ultimately a lot of guys just try to switch their feet when they hop up, and so it kind of rushes their body. I was very, very big. I mean, our whole staff at Pius was big on getting momentum to second base. Get momentum, get your body going in a straight line to second base.
Cox leans as Herman grounds this one off the glove of the diving Spencer. Cox makes a turn. He gets halfway to third. Slight bobble in left field. It would have been an aggressive turn if Cox was able to make it to third base. He slams on the brakes, but that is back-to-back singles now as Carson Herman delivers through the left side. We'll have a courtesy runner for him. If I'm not mistaken, that looks like number 14, Carter Woodson, potentially.
So the issue there was that the runner that was at first base, Tyler Cox, he didn't pick up his third base coach in time. Daryl Everhart was over there at third base, had both of his hands up saying, stop, stay at 2. But instead, Cox was looking at the baseball, thought that he could make it. He didn't look and connect with his third base coach until after he had rounded second base. And he's lucky that he was able to get back in time because he would have been out with an accurate throw at third.
2 on, nobody out. Erdkamp squares the bunt, and it's a good one. Smith out from behind the dish, throws to first just ahead of Erdkamp, but the cleanup hitter does his job. He moves runners to scoring position with only 1 away.
Yeah, and I think that's the Gretna East staff learning their lesson from last inning. I genuinely do. I like the idea. Despite it's your cleanup hitter, I get that people are going to sit there and say, man, you just gave up your at-bat with your guy that's batting fourth in your lineup. You're Gretna East. You're playing in the state championship. You got quality guys 1 through 9 in your lineup. Somebody needs to pick them up. That's the mentality here. Somebody's got to do their job. And number 4, Tanner Erdkamp's able to do so out of the cleanup spot.
Here's Kason Brown in that right-handed batter's box. He watches a breaker down in the dirt for ball 1. Kason Brown grounded out to third. All of the infielders are even on the grass, Nick, except for the Bennington shortstop. That's Hunter Spencer. He's playing about in the midpoint of the dirt. Another breaker down and out, 2-0. Good job by Smith, sliding the body, getting in front of it, squaring it up, keeping it in front. Brant Schmidt behind in the count, 2-0. He's a sophomore right-hander. Long peer into the glove for the sign. He's ready, letter high. Brings it home, chopped on the ground. Runner decides to stay put at third. Bover across the diamond after holding the runner. 1 step in time, 2 away.
I mean, this is just incredible. I think we're seeing the chess match right now, Austin. We're seeing the chess match play out. Bennington and their pitcher, Brant Schmidt, was trying to get Gretna East hitter Kason Brown to chase. He throws 2 breaking balls back-to-back in the dirt. He said he's not fishing. Great discipline by the hitter. And he said, fine, I'll just get you to I'll induce a ground ball. Great play by the third baseman for Bennington. He threw it over there in time. Looked back the runner at third base as well.
Definitely the right read by Cox. That was hit on 1 or 2 hops pretty hard at the third baseman. Would have been hard to score on the contact read. Chase Nenneman goes after the first pitch he sees. Taps it foul down the third baseline, 0-1. Gretna East led off the inning with 2 singles. They were bunted over to scoring position, and they've stayed there. The 0-1 pitch from Schmidt. Laced down the left field line, dropping fair. Here comes Cox. Making the turn is Herman. He's waved home, and he scores. That's his courtesy runner, Carter Woodson, coming in. But Chase Nenneman, the left fielder, delivers into left, and Gretna East is on top, 2-0 in the 4th.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody just needed to do their job. And unfortunately for Gretna East, Kason Brown was not. He rolls over on a ground ball. Third baseman makes a play, fires him out at first base. Chase Nenneman says, I'll step up. I'll go ahead and hit out of the 6 hole. Let me just go ahead and hit it to my left field spot where I'm familiar with defensively, and let me bring in the 2 RBI single.
Gretna East strikes first. The Griffins lead it 2-0. Here's Colton Kuhl. Kuhl was plunked leading off the third. He takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Gretna East back in the state championship game this year after falling just short in the championship game last year against Norris. Schmidt missed outside with a fastball, 1-1. So for Chase Neneman, at least his 9th and 10th RBI on the year. He dives back into first in time.
I mean, there's also something to be said, Austin. I mean, the way that Austin Copeland has dealt going back to last week on his last performance, the last 10 innings. I mean, you feel good about giving him a 2-run lead right now.
That one's ripped into right center field. Drifting back is the right fielder. He leaves his feet to make the catch for the Badgers. That's Jace Fitzgerald with a nice running play in the gap. It keeps Gretna East's lead at 2-0. We're halfway home. The Griffins lead the Badgers 2-0 here at Warner Park. We'll be back with more Class B State baseball next on the ticket.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Make sure you jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan in their 3 Lincoln locations.
Thank you, Nick. Here's Morgan Schumann leading off the bottom of the 4th for Bennington. Austin Copeland for Gretna East right on schedule. He's faced the minimum. Schumann takes a fastball up 1-0. Copeland still hasn't thrown his 30th pitch of the game. And we're into the 4th inning. He has been effective in the zone. The 1-0 taken for a strike, 1-1. Although, Nick, if you're Copeland, hopefully during that last half inning, you came back with maybe a little different plan. Essink lined out to center, hit it pretty well, and then Beekler shot one right back up the middle that Copeland was able to snare with his own glove. But the bottom of the order squared him up. We know the top of this Badger order is dangerous.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the parity between Class B and Class A, honestly. I think we're seeing it. We've known that in Class A, obviously you have danger 1 through 9, but we're seeing it now in Class B. The 2 top teams, man, you can't take a batter off.
Schumann takes the 2-1 pitch over the outside edge, 2-2. Especially in the state championship game, every out matters, every 90 feet matters, every pitch matters. Copeland, he kicks and deals. 2-2 tapped foul. Schumann was out in front. Do it again, 2-2.
And I'll be interested to see if Bennington's approach at the plate changes at all. Not that I necessarily think that it needs to, but they've attacked first pitch quite often. Let's see if that changes.
Schumann missed that one. All he can do is flip it to the shortstop. That's Cox settling underneath it. 1 away.
Because even if, I mean, you've got Copeland right now. If you're Bennington, you're facing Austin Copeland on the mound where he's been able to retire multiple guys on just the first pitch of their at-bats. I mean, he hasn't had to go deep into a count a whole lot today. Maybe you try to be a little less aggressive, a little more selective.
Here's Hunter Spencer. First pitch he sees hits him. He's aboard with 1 away.
Or now with traffic on the base paths, can you generate a little drama, right? Like I think Austin Copeland, over his last 10 innings, going back to the Waverly game on Tuesday, he's just been able to be so comfortable, right? And it's now Bennington, for the first time in those 10 innings, can they get Austin Copeland to feel uncomfortable? That's where we can see this Bennington offense really start to generate some momentum.
Second base runner of the game for the Badgers. Kellen Molnarek hit a single back in the second inning. He was quickly erased on a double play. This is Aiden Smith hitting in the 3-hole, right-handed catcher. Rips that one to center field. Drifting back is the center fielder. It was right at him, just moves a couple steps back. So Aiden Smith gets another good piece, but it just happened to be right out the center fielder, quickly 2 away after, again, just one pitch.
Yeah, that's one of those, you can't be too frustrated. You can't get too mad if you're Aiden Smith. You hit that ball on the screws, just right at Erdkamp in center field. And that's where I wonder, does the approach want to change? Because it's not like you're not finding the barrel of the bat every now and then, just going right to some guys, and that's just baseball at the end of the day.
Here is Molnarek. He has the one hit for the Badgers so far. Takes a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Maybe something as simple as call time.
Yeah.
Step out of the batter's box as soon as especially if you think you have Copeland's timing down when he's about to deliver, can you be very dramatic and emphatic about calling time? Copeland checks the runner. There goes Spencer. Got a really good jump. That throw was yanked in the dirt by the catcher for Gretna East. That's Herman. Not his best effort on the throw down, but now Hunter Spencer moves up 90 feet. He's in scoring position with 2 away.
And a great job as that ball was spiked left of the second base bag on the third base side of it. Great job by the second baseman, Tyler Cox, bodying that ball up. I think he took it up close by the collarbone. Didn't look like it hurt or it felt that great. This is where you can create some havoc on the base paths too.
0-2 to Molnarek. There's another breaker in the dirt, 1-2.
I think when you're facing a guy, I mean, this is the state championship. You're going to be facing somebody's best. You got to find creative ways to cause havoc, right? Base paths are a great way to do that. And it just feels like Bennington, limited chances.
Copeland set at the belt. Molnarek up the middle. Green's going to sit on that at his shortstop position. Rock and fire across the diamond. And Bennington scoreless once again. It's 2-0 Gretna East through 4. More 93.7 The Ticket State Tournament action next on The Ticket. Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's 2-0 Gretna East looking for their first baseball state championship in school history. The Griffins were runners-up last year. They hold a 2-0 lead over Bennington here in the top of the 5th inning. I'm Austin Norman with the call as the rain starts to fall. Nick Sainer.
We've been playing baseball here in the Class B title game. First pitch was at 3:43. And it is 4:29, and we've gone through 4 innings of play here as the fans start to head for the concourse. So we'll see how long we're able to play. Hopefully
it's not raining hard.
I was saying it's not raining too hard, just one of those annoying ones. Mm-hmm. Hopefully thankfully, we're able to stay dry up here, Austin. But either way, due up here for Gretna East, it's going to be hitters 8, 9, and 1 as Kobe Modrell takes that one up and in for a ball, 1-0. Brant Schmidt back out there for his 5th inning of work as the 1-0 is inside. It's now 2-0. Kobe Modrell struck out swinging on a pitch on a full count his first time up for out number 1 back in the 3rd inning. That was the inning that they would inevitably strand a runner at third base. It's a hot shot to third baseman, but up with it in time was Dover over there. He thought he caught it. I think he trapped it, and that was the right call to have to fire it over there to first base there to Swoboda for out number 1 on the 5-3 putout.
He was so casual with that. I think you're right. I think he thought he caught it, but the runner kept going, knowing that it did indeed bounce off the dirt.
Well, I think Bover was looking at the home plate umpire like, did you not see me catch this ball? But no, I think from our view up here, it looks like he kind of trapped it in there. Good breaking ball as he's facing Nicholson, the 9-hole hitter, the first baseman. It worked back in to the inner part of the zone for a strike, 0-1. Quickly back to work. This one hit well out to left center field. The left fielder racing back, still racing back, and he's able to haul it in just shy of the warning track. What a nice catch by Morgan Schumann. It didn't look like at first glance right off the bat like Schumann was going to get to that one in time. He kept on racing back. A great drop step by Schumann as he turned and opened his hips, and he caught it, reaching out with that glove hand off that left side for out number 2.
That was a long run for Schumann because he's playing really close to the line, trying to take that away. That was hit in the gap to the deepest part of the park. It took a perfect first step to catch up to that with the wind blowing out that direction.
Now here is the top of the order for Gretna East and Nolan Green. Green reached on a base on balls, and in the first at-bat of the game, he struck out swinging to end the third. He swings and misses at this one, now swings and misses at the second pitch of the at-bat. It's quickly 0-2. And a good job by Nolan Green there. Stepping out of the box, he gave a hearty cut there on that 0-1 breaker. And now Brant Schmidt trying to work a 5th inning of duty. Swung on and missed. It gets away from the catcher. Nolan Green's going to reach first base safely. And now a drop third strike allows Nolan Green to reach. So it's going to go as a strikeout, but it will go, and he will be able to get to first base.
I'm going to say that's a pass ball on Smith. I think he should have slid over and had that one. Got to help your pitcher out, especially in these conditions. You're looking for a shutdown inning. Your offense is trying to get something going. You're on the verge of it.
I will tell you this, though. Statisticians are very generous with pass balls and wild pitches. Very fortunate to be a catcher a lot of the times because a lot of them could be pass balls, should be pass balls, but they go in the books as a wild pitch. 1 ball, no strike here to Tyler Cox, and this is something that we will monitor as the rain continues to just lightly trickle down from the sky out here at Warner Park and Pavilion, is how wet do the baseballs get? Once they get too wet, once they get out to the outfield, they get waterlogged, and it really gets heavy for a pitcher to throw and get a grip on a ball. So 1 ball, no strike here to Tyler Cox, outside corner, strike 1.
You're thinking about how waterlogged it is, but you got pearls out there, Nick. You don't have baseballs that are worn, so they're already naturally slick. Add the rain on top of that. It's going to be important to see if these pitchers can get a feel for that baseball. And yes, you want one that's not, completely beat up, but sometimes a little bit of weathering on the ball, a little bit of scuffing here and there, some dirt on it. That helps a pitcher out tremendously in situations like this.
They pick over to first. Nolan Green, I think, was going to go on first movement because his first step was to the second base bag. However, he gets back in time. And now the 1-1 pitch from Schmidt is low and away for a ball, 2-1 to Tyler Cox.
The other thing to monitor with the wet conditions coming down for pitchers is that back cleat. Can you make sure that stays as clear of mud or clay as you can so you can really dig in and push off?
Quick pick over to first base, back in plenty of time. This time is Nolan Green. Two balls, 1 strike here to Tyler Cox. Cox getting the start at second base today as this one swung on, fouled back to the net. And we will have it even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Somebody's got to get that foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Brant Schmidt, the only blemish on his day so far was a 2 RBI single that he allowed to Chase Neneman in the 4th inning. Scored 2 runs for Gretna East. That's the lone difference here. Gretna East 2 runs on 3 hits. As the runner goes, it was a hit and run was on from head coach Daryl Everhart, and he fouls it back to the net, and so we'll do it again at 2-2. The Bennington Badgers, no runs on 1 hit. Not an error on the card for either side here today. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runner at first is Nolan Green, who reached on a drop third strike. Here's the pitch, and it's low and away for a ball, 3-2. So Nolan Green with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning is going to be off with the pitch. He's got to make sure, since he's already been fooled once, he's got to make sure that Brant Schmidt, the pitcher for Bennington, goes home.
A lot of room down that right field line. If Cox shoots one that way, Green could be running wild.
He rolls over on the ground ball, fielded by the shortstop across the diamond. Great pick at first base by Charlie Swoboda, and that will do it for the top half of the 5th inning. Scoreless half of baseball. Grounds crew is going to be on their way out here trying to help out, especially around some of the bases and the higher traffic areas here at Warner Park as they start to drop some sand and some more dirt around this infield. We'll let you know. We'll keep it up. Bottom of the 5th is coming up right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to Warner Park. Gretna East scoreless in the top half of the 5th inning. Back out there for his 5th inning of work. It's Austin Copeland. Copeland's been lights out today. Just one hit allowed. He has only allowed one free pass as well, and that was last inning on a hit by pitch to Hunter Spencer. Now, due up, though, it's going to be Charlie Swoboda. Swoboda just had a really nice pick at first base on a ground ball, and we're going to have a continuation of stoppage in play because they're going to put some more dirt on the pitcher's mound. And so we will go ahead and keep it right here for the time being. Just a reminder, tonight, 7 p.m., Lincoln East and Miller North. What excites you the most out of that game between the Spartans and the Mustangs?
I think seeing Lincoln East back in the state championship game for a 3rd straight year is pretty cool for them. Speaks to the strength of that program. And for Millard North, too. I mean, they've won Class A state a couple times in school history. They came in as one of the hottest teams in Class A. They were at the bottom of the bracket, only the 7th seed, just based off wild card points and how the system works for the NSAA. I've been really impressed with Millard North. They made it look simple. Not easy, right? It's never easy to get to a state championship game. Always difficult to navigate the bracket. But, Lincoln East has looked pretty clinical. They survived that scare against Millard South the first time those two teams played. Millard South couldn't deliver, not a knockout blow. You never really knock out a team like Lincoln East, but Millard South had its opportunities to extend that lead. They didn't. Lincoln East hung around, and walked it off. And it's just been surgical, pretty clinical for Millard North throughout the course of this state tournament. So I really think, Nick, I honestly believe that Class A has the two teams playing the best baseball in their class right now. And here in the Class B title game, just feels like maybe the two toughest teams mentally have survived and advanced to the state championship game here.
Yeah, you look at, we get so infatuated with the college commitment list and things like that. The the Gretna East and Bennington college commitment list, not as impressive, maybe not as star-studded as what we would see in Class A or even in Class C earlier today. But, man, there's some just gritty baseball players. We're ready to go. Charlie Swoboda takes a breaking ball for a first pitch strike. Now the 0-1 offering from Copeland is low and away for a ball, 1-1.
In rainy conditions like this, Nick, I really think the advantage swings to the offense. Lots to think about as a defender, especially if that ball's hit on the ground. You're kind of worried about the ball. Will it be slick? Can the pitcher get a grip? So I think for Bennington, being the team that's trailing right now, yes, they have to earn it. It's not going to be easy for them to come back. But I do think conditions like this favor the offense.
I would imagine so. I think there's a lot of things, more so even than just grip of the ball, as this one's fouled off to the right side to even it up at 2-2. More so than grip of the ball, I think footing on the mound is so important, and pitchers are so picky, and rightfully so, I suppose, but they're so picky and really judgmental about their footing and how it feels when they plant. As that pitch on the outer part of the zone is a called strike three. A nice fastball throws Charlie Swoboda on the 2-2 offering for a backwards K and out number one. So Austin Copeland says, "Shut up, Nick. It's doing just fine." But I mean, seriously, as the game goes on and that you continue to get dirt and the mud and the clay and the field surface on the bottom of your metal cleats, it changes the way it feels, and it's not the most comfortable at all times. Coming up to the plate now, Lane Bover, the third baseman, takes strike one on a breaking ball. It's the second consecutive hitter that Copeland started with the breaker. This one now on 0-1 is fouled back, and quickly 0-2 is the count. Great catch by the fans on the concourse. And here quickly, this is where Bennington needs to slow down because Austin Copeland has been in a rhythm, especially this inning. He throws one, gets back on the rubber, ready to go. The 0-2 offering, Bover. He watches a breaking ball that stays upstairs, 1-2.
We got a text I'd like to address here because he challenged me by saying we weren't going to read it. If you need a glove to slide into a base, you're soft. I'm going to disagree.
Here's a hit into the left field area, ranging back as the left fielder, and now backpedaling at the last second is the left fielder Chase Neneman, but he's able to retire the hitter Lane Bover for out number 2, F7 on the putout.
I think in a lot of cases, the oven mitt that I think is being referred to here is mostly cosmetic, but we saw an epidemic in Major League Baseball of guys sliding head first, their arm forward, they break their finger sliding into the bag. You want to keep them low, and maybe prop your hand up at the very end so you don't break. But that's hard to do when you're going full speed like that. So maybe in high school it's a little bit more cosmetic, but it's not a sign of weakness. It's trying to keep your finger safe. I don't have a problem with the oven mitt.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen more and more guys start to slide head first into every bag, really. I mean, we're seeing it at the high school level. I never slid head first. Like it was a safety thing. Do not slide head first. But here, now you see it quite often. Also on pickoffs, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to jam fingers and break fingers. Those are nagging injuries.
My grandpa broke his thumb getting stepped on.
There you go.
Back in the day.
Those metal cleats, man, they hurt. 2 balls, 1 strike here now to the Bennington Badgers hitter Jack Essink.
To be fair, the molded ones hurt too.
As it's now 3 balls, 1 strike to the Bennington second baseman. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Can Austin Copeland continue his scoreless streak as this one hit well to the second baseman, fielded cleanly by Tyler Cox? He throws it over to Nicholson in time, and Austin Copeland, now dating back to Tuesday's matchup, has thrown 12 straight scoreless innings of baseball on the mound. Griffins still lead this one over Bennington 2-0 in the Class B state championship game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965599.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Discovering your life's passion is easier with options, and that's what Doane offers students. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes you different. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We just passed an hours of real time of baseball. First pitch for this one was at 3:43 p.m. We just passed 4:45 p.m. and we've played 5 complete innings here in the Class B State Championship game. 2-0 your score, Gretna East. With the call of the 6th inning, it's Austin Norman.
Thank you, Nick. I'll take the call of the play-by-play. If you want to call Jay Foreman, get him warming up in the bullpen for old school, maybe. First pitch chopped just foul by Herman down the third base line, 0-1. Brant Schmidt has been pretty darn good. He's just about in the mid-60s in terms of pitch count right now through 5 innings. Herman today singled. He was the second of back-to-back singles. He came around to score the second run, or his courtesy runner did, in the fourth. Herman's a righty. Here comes the righty delivery from Brant Schmidt. That one's laced into the left center field gap. This is going to be extra bases. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Herman's going to have to stop at second base with a stand-up double. Probably the best hit ball we've seen today from either way. Carson Herman leads off the top of the sixth with a laser of a double to the deepest part of the park.
Really nice job. Great approach at the plate by Carson Herman. And now, as custom, number 14 for
Carter Woodson.
Gretna East, Carter Woodson's going to be the courtesy runner out there at second base. I mean, here we go. It's essentially the exact same situation as they had before they put up the 2 runs. This is where it continued to get Austin Copeland some insurance. We saw it earlier. Tanner Urkamp laid down a sacrifice bunt. Let's see if they call his number again.
First baseman in expecting it. Erdkamp does get it down. Schmidt won't even take a look at third. He'll jog a couple steps over to first. That's the simple play on a rainy day like this. You probably take the out. He might have had a chance, though, at third, Nick.
Yeah, might have had a chance. The third baseman over there for Bennington, Lane Bover, was a little delayed getting over there to cover. And so that's the safest play, right? I mean, you can think about it this way. Earlier in the game, they had a runner at third with 1 out, and they got out of it scoreless. Bennington did. And so it's not impossible, especially with the bottom half on deck of that Gretna East order.
The first, Kason Brown. He is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third twice. He watches the fastball for a ball, 1-0. Kason Brown, a junior, 263 batting average, driven in 8 runs coming into the state tournament. Brant Schmidt is set at the letters with the infield in. Breaking ball misses, 2-0. Schmidt not pausing that long out of the stretch. There is activity in the Bennington bullpen right now. Rain falling at Werner Park. Schmidt's 2-0. Tapped back to him. Takes a look at the runner at third. He'll get it to first and Swoboda in time. Now 2 away. Good job by Brant Schmidt getting a weak ground ball right back to him. So here's Chase Neneman. Neneman, the right guy to have up if you're Gretna East. He delivered the game's first 2 runs with a single to left field. He did that with 2 outs just 2 innings ago. Neneman, a righty. Schmidt, a righty. Sophomore versus sophomore matchup. Schmidt fires a fastball for strike 1.
I mean, it's the way that this baseball game is playing out, it's pretty bizarre. I mean, you have it to where Erdkamp sacrifices a guy over to third base. Brown unable to get the job done. Can Chase Neneman do it for a second time today?
Didn't mean to do it, but he went around, now 0-2. Outfielders have moved in from where they were. The rain and the wind will certainly knock the ball down. Didn't stop Carson Herman from hitting one well that rolled all the way to the wall. His runner's at third base, but Schmidt's ahead in the count, 0-2, and it's a 3-pitch strikeout. Brant Schmidt recovers from the leadoff double. He gets a sacrifice bunt, a weak tapper, and a swinging strikeout to strand the runner at third. Bennington trails this game 2-0. They come to bat in the bottom of the 6th next on 93.7 The Ticket.
The weekend is here, and you and the boys need a place to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Copeland has been on cruise control so far. He's allowed just 1 hit in 5 innings. He's tasked with protecting a 2-run lead right now as he pitches into the 6th. I'm Austin Norman, Nick Sainert alongside Copeland will deal with 8, 9, and 1. It'll be Fitzgerald, Beekler, and Schumann for Bennington. Badgers running out of outs quickly in this one. We'll have a left-handed pitcher running out to the Gretna East bullpen. It looks like number 18, Griffin, 19, Andrew Barada.
Yes.
No ERA on the year.
Barada threw earlier in the week, had a nice outing in their first game against Waverly back on Saturday. Ended up taking the loss in that game, though. Gretna East did as well.
A minor setback has led to a great comeback for Gretna East from losing their opening round game to the doorstep of a state championship. Copeland's first pitch tapped weakly up the middle. Up with it is the second baseman. Nice play there by Cox at second base. One pitch and one out for Austin Copeland here in the sixth.
I mean, once again, there you have it. One pitch, one out, like you just said, Austin. I mean, Copeland's just dealing right now. Throwing a competitive pitch, but it induced another ground ball. And Bennington down to their last 4 outs. Rather, 5 outs.
5.
Excuse me. My goodness. My math is – there's a reason I talk, not calculate.
We're journalism school guys, not mathematicians. Or statisticians, for that matter. Beekler, his first at bat, lined it right back to Copeland. Stuck out that left glove hand of his and snared it. Copeland has yet to throw 60 pitches in this one through 5 1/3. Breaking ball led her high, 1-0. Austin Copeland came into the state tournament a 3-2 record, an ERA of 1.97, and that has plummeted. Copeland's ready with the 1-0, brings it home. Beekler takes it for a strike, 1-1. For Beekler, the senior, playing in his last high school baseball game, 260 batting average, 5 runs driven in so far this year. Watches that one outside for a ball, 2-1, and very quick when Copeland's ready to bring it home again. Here's his 2-1 after a kick. Breaking ball swung on, fouled back into the stands, 2-2.
That's the other thing that he's done well. When he's gotten behind on guys, he's been able to even up the count for the most part. He's been able to come in, be competitive, even if it's with a breaking ball. Hasn't always had to resort to the fastball, which is a dangerous combination.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, line down the third base line. On a backhand is the third baseman, Kason Brown. Nice play, a very strong throw across the diamond in slippery conditions. Well done all around by Kason Brown.
Yeah, good job. I don't know if he knew at first if he had that baseball trapped underneath his mitt. He had to kind of look at it to make sure it was there. Had plenty of time because it was hit pretty hard by Beekler. It was hit pretty hard down that third base line. Had plenty of time to throw it across the diamond.
So with 2 outs in the sixth, now Bennington is down to its final 4 outs. Morgan Schumann, left fielder, 0 for 2 today. He has flown out to right and popped out to short. He takes a strike on the first pitch of the at-bat, 0-1. If Austin Copeland is able to throw a complete game in 69 pitches again, I would be impressed. According to my book, he is now at pitch number 65 upcoming here. Now, if he gets the next 4 outs on 4 pitches, he will match. Otherwise, he will have to cross the threshold of 70. Swung on, laced up the middle. Good piece of hitting there by Morgan Schumann. Waited on a fastball and a 1-1. Count, send it right back where it came from. He's aboard with a 2-out single.
Yeah, good job by Morgan Schumann. That's the first real balanced, good swing we've seen Bennington put on a ball. Nice job.
For a while. Essink had one.
Yes, that's right. But really, I mean, to be able to get it up out of the zone, I mean, a really nice job. I wonder if this is a pitch count conversation. I mean, this is now, 100 and close to 140 pitches in the 135 pitches in the last 4 days. Might be more concerned about arm health here than anything, or just give that bullpen time to warm up. You got Barada throwing out there. I think you also have number 3, Trevor Cox, out there in the bullpen. 4-2 record on there on the year for Cox, a 1.24 earned run average. Looks like Cox is the righty, and then obviously Barada the lefty. So we'll see if it's a matchup kind of conversation when head coach Daryl Everhart decides to bring one of them in.
Dave Van Horn heard you say 135 or 140 pitches in 4 days. I know he has us on in the dugout in Hoover and just said, come on, what are you talking about?
Doesn't matter.
You grew up on Nebraska baseball, doubted after a comment like that. Scary moment in the Arkansas-Ole Miss game. Arkansas ends up in an inside the park home run as the Ole Miss right fielder and center fielder took each other out. Seems like everyone's okay, though. Big Ten baseball tournament for Nebraska about an hour away. Hopefully we're able to settle in and watch the first inning or two of that before we get underway at the Class A state championship. First pitch swinging is Hunter Spencer. That is a lazy can of corn fly ball into left field. And all of a sudden, Bennington down to its final 3 outs on offense. Before they get there, they'll need to make sure Gretna East's lead does not expand. It's 2-0 Griffins heading to the 7th in the Class B state championship game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Have an anniversary coming up? I've got you covered. Celebrate your love with the timeless elegance of jewelry. This anniversary, give the gift of sapphires, emeralds, rubies, or gold. Find the perfect piece that reflects the beauty and depth of your commitment. Whether it's your first anniversary or your 50th, surprise your loved one with a gem as beautiful and rare as she is. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's 2-0 Gretna East here as we head to the top of the 7th. Austin Orman here, but with the call of the 7th inning, Nick Sainer.
Thank you, Austin. If you guys hear me sniffling,
he's not sick.
I'm not sick. I'm not cold. I am smelling buttery popcorn here at Warner Park. We've had this conversation all week long, but here in the top of the 7th inning, it's a little more aggressive, but in a good way here at Warner. That popcorn that's being popped right below us is powerful. Here's the first pitch of the 7th inning, popped right in front of Gretna East dugout. Great job by Aiden Smith, tracking it down right in front of the Griffins dugout on that first base side in foul territory, and he catches it for out number 1.
Good play by Aiden Smith to get over there. He's the better athlete compared to Swoboda over there first base. Normally, you'd like that to be the first baseman's ball coming in on it, but good on Aiden Smith for being quick out of his stance, tracking it well, making it look pretty simple.
It's also fascinating just simply because we would be talking normally about the incredible outing Brant Schmidt has had today, as this one by Kobe Modrell is fouled off to the left, 0-1. I mean, he has had an incredible day on the mound. He's only allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, and he's done it efficiently. However, offense has not picked him up. And I think that's, if you ask Coach He's during the or after the game and this score stands, I think that's going to be part of his response, is that our offense just didn't help out our pitcher today. As it's now 2 balls, 1 strike to the designated hitter for Gretna East, Kobe Modrell.
And it's not like they were facing a nobody on the mound. Austin Copeland's a stud, but they didn't exactly make him work for it all the time.
Yeah.
So far, 3 outs to go, of course.
2 balls, 1 strike. The fastball on the outer part of the plate. It's 2-2. We have our first ticket punch to the Women's College World Series. Texas Tech just knocked off Florida State as this one's ripped down the left field line, foul. So Texas Tech and their pitcher, Kennedy, going to be going to Oklahoma City. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch from Brant Schmidt. On the way, outside corner, called strike 3. And now we have 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Ever since that 4th inning, Brant Schmidt has been dealing. 4 batters faced in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and now quickly 2 away here in the seventh. You mentioned it. Brant Schmidt has done everything in his power to give his team a chance. He's had pretty good command and control of his two pitches so far today.
So here you have it. Top of the seventh inning. 9-hole hitter as Nicholson hits this one well to left field, and that's over the head of the left fielder Schumann. Rounding first and strolling into second. Standing up is number 4, Colt Nicholson. And Nicholson with a 2-out double extends the top of the seventh for Gretna East. And now the lineup will roll over, and we get to see Nolan Green one more time.
Bit of a brutal read from the left fielder for Bennington. That's Morgan Schumann. Made a really nice catch in the gap earlier, but that time it was a major banana route. He started sideways, needed to end up drifting back. That ball carried on him a little bit more, even without the wind, right? The wind wasn't aiding that one. That was just ripped off Nicholson's back.
So now number 21, Nolan Iverson, will come in to run for Nicholson. Nicholson not the quickest of the bunch. And so Nolan Iverson will come in because that's a big insurance run for the Gretna East Griffins. If Nolan Green, the Cloud County Community College commit, if he can get a 2-out base knock. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled off right side, and we'll have a no balls, 1 strike count coming up to Nolan Green.
Herman doubled, Nicholson doubled. Otherwise, it's been pretty weak contact for the most part out of Gretna East. So, again, Schmidt's done a pretty good job of keeping the Griffins off balance today.
No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Schmidt. Swung on and missed. Nolan Green struck out swinging in the third. He struck out in the fifth, but reached on a drop third strike. And now he's in danger of having the trifecta if he can't get bat on ball here. No balls, 2 strikes. Bennington trying to get their pitcher to throw 1 more strike. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1.
Good job by Spencer at shortstop, trying to keep that runner, Iverson, as close as he can, trying to make sure that it's at least difficult for the runner to score on a single.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the seventh. The pitch, breaking ball, did not work back to the plate enough. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the seventh inning, Gretna East leads 2-0. Bennington will have a chance to bat in the bottom half. The pitch from Schmidt. Outside corner, called strike 3. Nolan Green is asking the home plate umpire, what was the difference between that pitch and the breaking ball that you called a ball on the previous pitch? Nolan Green unhappy with it as he strolls back to the dugout, and that will do it for the top of the seventh inning. Bennington down to their final 3 outs with the Class B title on the line. Gretna East leads it 2-0. We'll come back in 60 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's schwisow.com.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Discovering your life's passion is easier with options, and that's what Doane offers students. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes you different. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Back to the 2025 State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in the bottom of the seventh inning. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman with you. Jackson Kleinschmidt in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. 3 outs remain, and Bennington comes up to the plate, but they have the meat of their order. 3, 4, and 5 due up to face Austin Copeland. They trail 2-0. Gretna East looking for their first state championship in school history. Bennington looking for their first since 2019 as that one's going to hit the leadoff batter, Aiden Smith, as he claps his hands on his way down to first base. And Austin Copeland, for the second time today, has hit the Bennington Badger here in the leg. So now coming on to pinch run number 12 for the Bennington Badgers, as that will be, Elliot Anderson. Anderson, a senior, has scored 25 runs on the year. So Smith hit by a pitch. Anderson comes on to run, and now that brings up Kellen Molnarek, one of the lone guys to get a hit against Austin Copeland this evening. That pitch inside, ball one, almost hit him.
You didn't think Bennington was going to go down quietly, did you? This is high school baseball in a nutshell. Keep it close. Hang in there if you're the higher-seeded team. Keep it close. If there's ever a time to have a good approach, though, from Bennington, it's got to be now.
The 1-0 offering is in there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike as Anderson leads off a first.
Coach Hazy is not happy down there in the third base coaching box.
Copeland working out of the stretch. Molnarek wants to call time. Molnarek was visibly upset with that strike one decision. And so Hazy was telling Molnarek, get your head in the game. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. On the way, hit well out to right field. The right fielder races over, has it as he drops down to one knee. And Molnarek will trot back to the dugout after putting a good bat on the ball, but it goes right to the right fielder.
That's a good piece of hitting. Took it the other way where it was pitched, hit it well, squared it up. It just tailed directly back into the path of the right fielder. I will say, Nick, I don't agree with Kason Brown playing where he was with this part of the order. He was in on the cut, almost like he was expecting a bunt. There are 2 outs now left in Bennington season, 3 with Molnarek in the middle of the order up at the plate. Right now, I think you got to play maybe a little deep and towards the line if you're the corner infielders. And because of that, then I might shift my outfielders more in the holes between short and third and first and second in what they call no doubles defense.
Charlie Swoboda up at the plate. He now swings and misses for strike 1. It's 0-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 2-0 Gretna East. Austin Copeland has dealt for his last 13 innings of scoreless baseball, going back to his shutout 7-inning performance against Waverly on Tuesday. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, hit, lined up the middle, and that's going to be gloved by the second baseman. To second base for 1. Not enough time to get the out at first. What a defensive play by Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox at second base. I almost messed up with his brother Trevor Cox. Great job by Tyler Cox at second base. I thought that was going to be a base hit up the middle, but Tyler Cox said, no, I got the reach, and he was able to flip it to second base just in time for the second out of the inning, and Gretna East is 1 out away.
That's an incredible job ranging back up the middle by Cox. Even if he doesn't get an out, just to keep that on the infield would have been impressive enough. But to get there, to get an out with it, man, that is a killer for Bennington and a huge play for Gretna East to get that lead runner.
So now it's Lane Bover with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. This one is down Broadway for strike 1, and Gretna East can start to taste it, as Austin Copeland has been nails. The last 2 performances, the righty comes set at the belt. The 0-1 offering to Lane Bover, the Bennington for third baseman. Low in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 2-0 Gretna East over the Bennington Badgers here in the Class B title game. Just past the 5 o'clock hour here at Warner. Runner on first base, 2 outs. And it's down the middle again, a 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Gretna East Griffins, 2 runs on 5 hits. Bennington, no runs on just 2 hits. The runner at first with 2 outs. Lane Bover in the right-handed batter's box, and now Copeland steps off. Austin Copeland, 7 innings of shutout baseball against Waverly on Tuesday. He's come back in the state championship, and he's 1 pitch away from doing it again. The pitch on 1-2, outside, ball 2.
That's a good spot. That's a good miss. Get the fastball up on the outer part. You know, Bover's looking to pull the ball and do damage, work where he's not as comfortable.
And I think there's also something to be said. The home plate umpire doesn't want to end the game ringing up a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave it in the hands of the umpire. The 2-2 offering from Copeland is high fly right side and just out of play. It goes. And we will do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman with you here, 93.7 the ticket. Game 2 of 3 on the day, a game that has gone by in the blink of an eye. We started this at 3:43 was first pitch. And we are 1 pitch away from Gretna East winning their first state title in school history. The 2-2 offering from Austin Copeland. He kicks and fires outside ball 3, and Lane Bover has worked it full as now the runner at first will be off with the pitch. The runner at first is Miles Gifford. He's subbed in for Swoboda, who reached on a fielder's choice after a great stop with the backhand by the second baseman. The pitch on 3-2, soft chopper. Kason Brown fields it cleanly, and it is a foul ball. They're going to say a foul ball that it hit Lane Bover in the batter's box. Lane Bover stopped running about 15 feet out of the batter's box because the home plate umpire decided to call it a foul ball. And so we will do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Copeland needs to make 1 more pitch for the Gretna East Griffins, as Bover has continued to extend this at-bat. It's been a real good at-bat from the Bennington third baseman, Lane Bover. It's a righty-righty matchup. The runner at first is Gifford. The pitch on 3-2. Hit well, right field. The right fielder ranges over. He's got it! And for the first time in school history, after losing last year and finishing as the runner-up in Class B, Gretna East is on the mountaintop with a dominating performance from Austin Copeland on the mound. And for the second straight start, Austin Copeland goes 7 scoreless innings. He allowed just 4 hits on Tuesday. Today in the state championship, he allows just 2. And Gretna East is your 2025 Class B state champions.
Great crowd on hand for Gretna East to witness this first championship in school history. Congratulations to the Griffins for that. Only 2 runs is all it took because, Nick, they had their guy dominate on the mound in the form of Austin Copeland. Less than 90 pitches to go the distance. Gave up base runners here and there, but whenever he got into a little bit of a sticky situation, he found a way to battle his way out of it. Extremely efficient day for him, and what a fitting way to cap the Class B season with Austin Copeland, one of the best pitchers in the class, doing his thing for 7 strong innings.
If you're the Bennington Badgers, heartbreak as they fall just short here in the Class B title game, 2-0 to the Gretna East Griffins. Gretna East, once again on the shoulders of Austin Copeland. Nolan Green at shortstop fell to his knees and started to cry as the rest of the Griffins dogpiled behind the pitcher's mound. And for the first time in school history, Gretna East is your 2025 Class B state baseball champion after a 2-0 strong victory over the Bennington Badgers. Austin, if you're Bennington here, you got to be, it's real unfortunate simply because in the last couple of innings, you started to put some good swings on the ball. And even on the last 2 outs of the game, you were able to, 2 of the last 3 outs of the game, you lined out to the right fielder. You lined out to the right fielder with Kellen Molnarek, and you lined out to the right fielder with Lane Bover to end the game. Good barrel, found a barrel on the baseball, but yet it just didn't fall. And that's unfortunately baseball sometimes.
That is just the game of baseball sometimes. For Bennington, though, as they head into the offseason, as you mentioned, under new direction, right, with Coach Hazy hanging up the cleats, what a career he had for Bennington. Whoever takes over for him, any of these players that will be back next year for them, they have to take this opportunity to think about what didn't go right for them. Nick, the most batters that Bennington sent to the plate in an inning was 4. 4 batters was the most that Austin Copeland had to face in an inning. There are a handful of seniors graduating from this Bennington team, but a whole lot of juniors and a whole lot of seniors who right now are in the same boat that Gretna East was in last year. Made their way all the way through the bracket to end up just short against a really solid team. So congratulations to Gretna East. Now for Bennington, though, the approach just wasn't there all day. It was a lot of first pitch swinging, a lot of being aggressive, and you understand that if it was on a lot of fastballs. But Copeland was doing a good job mixing in the breaking balls. It just feels like Bennington didn't always have a plan for what it wanted to do at the plate. It felt like they were going up there swinging more so than trying to be, a hitter in the box. So plenty to learn from Bennington. A big shout out to their guy on the hill as well, Brant Schmidt, who would have been the story in a lot of different games. Nothing he did necessarily wrong. He wasn't perfect, but the results in the end are pretty good. 2 runs, 5 hits. I think if you tell Coach Hazy that's what his sophomore starter would have given him, he would have signed up for that in a heartbeat.
I think you're absolutely right. On a day, we started the broadcast off talking about the adversity that both of these teams went in with. You had Bennington that had to beat Gross Catholic not once but twice, and they were able to do so. They also played a 4-hour and 14-minute ball game against the Seward Blue Jays earlier in the week. And then for Gretna East, they beat number 1 seed Scott Catholic twice as well by a score of 3-2. And here they knock off the Bennington Badgers in the state championship game 2-0. And so there you have it. Gretna East, for the first time in school history, your state champions in Class B. Bennington falls just short. And you look at Gretna East, we started off the broadcast talking about the adversity, but then we also said, you got to look deeper than just the records, because you look at 8 of the 9 Gretna East losses this year were by just 1 run. The only other one was a 2-run loss to Gretna, 7-5. It's bizarre to think about it that way. And so when you look at Gretna East, there was one in there by 5 to Pius X. However, when you look at Gretna East, the record was not indicative of how talented this team was, how gritty this team was. And I think we saw that on display here this evening. So now one more game remains. The Class A state championship game that will start at approximately 7 p.m. We expect a really good crowd on hand here at Warner Park. And it will be featuring the number 1 seed Lincoln East Spartans going up against the 7-seeded Millard North Mustangs. As the Mustangs try to knock off top-seeded Sparty, Lincoln East trying to win their 2nd championship in the last 3 years. They won it for the first time in school history back in 2023. They lost to Millard West in 2024, and they're trying to win it and send the seniors such as Jeter Worthy and Joey Senstock out as a state champion here in 2025. We'll step aside one final time. Your score, 2-0, Gretna East. They are state champions in Class B action. For Austin Norman, Nick Sainert, and a big thank you to Jackson Kleinschmidt back in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios. We'll talk to you just shortly before 7 p.m. here from Warner Park as we will get you ready for the Class A state championship game right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through May 27th is $1 off hamburger and hot dog buns, $1 off Plum Creek chicken wings, 15% off barbecue sauces, and 15% off burgers, hot dogs, and brats.